Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Paradoxic, and welcome back to Marvel's Loki. Episode 3 is officially out, and last time we had a great episode 2. We had an insane episode 2, pretty much from start to finish. Easily, I think, my favorite, probably just, highly likely my favorite kind of episode 2 out of all the kind of Marvel Disney Plus shows so far. So it goes to show, just how well they're doing with their stories and everything, and with the characters. And yeah, so last time we had an ending that was mind blowing and very very suggestive in terms of the future of the MCU, and how it could really lead into Doctor Strange and how it could lead into the future, just generally the future of the MCU with the multiverse and everything. So the Loki variant was revealed. The Loki variant, I think, that episode was where they were actually researching how to track down the Loki variant more accurately, and Mobius and Loki went to Pompeii because he had deduced that the variant was hiding in apocalypses that would erase any sign of variation or any deviancy or anything like that, so they could just do what they wanted and then just snap out of it, and then the apocalypse would take care of the rest. So that was his deduction. So then they went into 2050 to Roxcart, where there was a giant hurricane that was actually tormenting the town, and then that place would get taken out. And then yeah, we met the Loki variant. So yeah, I think I mean, to begin with, I was on two minds, but I think by the end of that video, I was definitely kind of veering more and more towards, okay, this may well be Enchantress. This may well be Enchantress, especially because she has the I think even appearance wise, even if her costume is somewhat reminiscent of Loki's of green leather, then pretty much in pretty much every other regard, she is pretty kind of reminiscent of Enchantress, and her powers especially are things that I think Loki either doesn't have or hasn't unlocked yet. She can actually control other people's minds and actually pass her consciousness onto other people, so she can actually inhabit other bodies that way and stuff. So like possession, pretty much. And almost like a gate, like a getting them to do her bidding, do her powers and everything. So that's fun. But yeah, I think I'm veering more and more towards Enchantress. I think I didn't actually look through the credits, but I did see people after the episode actually posting screenshots of the credits on social media, both kind of English and international ones, and both of them showed that the actress herself, Sophia DiMartino, has actually been cast as someone called Sylvie. So people are saying that is actually the actual name of Enchantress. Enchantress is like a title, like a label that she's given herself, but her actual name is Sylvie. So more and more evidence that she is actually Enchantress and not just like Lady Loki or whatever. So I'm curious to know exactly where she does come from. If she is she's another variant, but I'm curious as to whether she's a Loki variant that maybe started off as Tom Hiddleston, but maybe she actually kind of kind of indefinitely kind of became transitioned to female form, or if she's actually, or if she actually was female to begin with, or what's happening. Because I think Enchantress' backstory, I'm not really all too aware of. I think if she actually is Asgardian by nature, or if she actually is like Loki and she's from what's the snow planet? Not Hoth. That's Star Wars. Jotunheim. So I'm curious as to if she has that similar of a backstory to the Loki that we know, or if she actually is from another timeline where Loki was both a girl and she actually does come from Asgard. So yeah, so I'm curious to know exactly what that stuff's all about. But she looks great, and I can't wait to see and kind of understand more about who she is and what she intends to do. Because she did say she has no interest in the TVA or the Timekeepers. So yeah, but where her interest does lie is a lot more cataclysmic. She is all the research charges she stole from various Minutemen crews that she killed and left for dead, waiting to be discovered by the TVA. She tampered with them to turn them into explosives, and then transported them to various places throughout the timeline, and not just places in Earth. There were earthly cities like New York, and I think Thornton, and a lot of other cities that I didn't fully recognize. But then she sent them to other planets too. She sent them to other actual planets. She sent them to one to Asgard. I think a couple to Asgard, some to Hala, which we know from Captain Marvel is the planet of the Kree. or at least like the central planet of the Kree, and then to Vormir as well. So she's sent into Vormir. So Vormir is not a planet that we know has life. Like it has only like occupants one, the Red Skull. So, and even from 2050 onwards, I think the date might have been different too. She actually did send them to specific like dates in these places. So Asgard, Hala, Vormir, even Xandar, and Titan as well, Thanos' planet. So I can't remember exactly what the dates were, but it's definitely I think most of them are like pre 2050, so pretty much earlier in the timeline. And then the interesting one is Ego that we know is actually a living planet because he's like I think he's like a celestial. He's a celestial, so like he is a living planet. He actually like his main planetary body is actually his body itself. Like that's his prime planetary kind of form. So Ego, I don't know what bombing Ego is gonna do. Like I mean, it might just piss him off. But either way, I think that has to be before Guardians Volume 2. So. You know, I don't know. I mean, I think, especially, we've seen if you destroy the main planetary body, then I think that just kind of, cancels out any kind of further insemination of the other planets. So, I don't know, but I think I'm not too sure how damaging these bombs are meant to be either. Like, if they're actually meant to destroy these places as a whole, or if it's meant to just do some significant damage. But either way, these bombs being sent away and set off there has actually branch the timeline into 10, 12, 11 different kind of little branches that are just really, really close to, coming into contact with that nefarious red line that equals, multiversal war and everything. So yeah, it's not a good sign. So I'm curious, like I said last time, I'm curious as to whether or not they're actually going to explore that in this, or if this episode is going to be solely, some stuff between Enchantress and Loki, which I kind of expect more on that end too, like taking a bit of a break from the TVA maybe, and then maybe just waiting until the end to see what the TVA are doing. But then for the most part, it's actually Enchantress and Loki having a conversation, exploring the timeline, exploring her timeline maybe, and her showing him where she comes from, if that's possible. So yeah, it should be fun. It should be very fun. But this, the timeline bombing stuff definitely kind of hints at the multiverse, and definitely shows that she is the one who maybe actually opens the floodgates to the multiverse and actually allows Wanda's dark cold research to actually lead somewhere. So yeah, it'll be fun to see where it all goes down. So yeah, but that is pretty much all I picked up from the last one. So on to episode number 3 of Loki, onto the reaction. And as you guys know, the channel's reactions are just kind of like the best bits and like the shorter version, like the fair use version, so just the best bits in the episode. So any reactions that don't make it into this cut, you can catch those in the full-length reaction over on Patreon, where you can watch the entire episode unedited along with me. So that link will be in the comments and or the description, so you can go check that out over there. But yeah, on to Loki, Season 1, Episode 3. Let's go.
We could do potato skins or buffalo fingers.
Or we could eat somewhere else.
Enchantress and the TV agent.
Do you know how many times the health department has closed this place down?
Are they on a date?
I'm going to ask you a question, and you won't be able to tell me the answer until your synapses have melted.
Challenge accepted.
Oh, damn. Are they dating? Is this literally a date between them? That would be...
Okay, ask.
It's okay. You're just tired.
Oh, she looks so good. She like her hair, especially. It's like daisies. Yeah, it's like a daisies in season 3 to 4. Oh, she's scanning her brain too. It's a false pretenses. Oh, Sylvie, you tricky little trickster. Oh. Oh no. Oh, her powers don't work here. Oh. Oh, damn, okay. Oh, sugar, okay. Oh, she's got a fight on her hands. Oh, damn. Oh, she's got flips. Oh. Oh, his knives. His signature dual knives. Yep. She is so good.
A few questions. You lack vision.
Well, yeah, he's already been in a Disney Plus show. This is yours.
I
Come any closer and I'll kill him.
Go for it.
Oh yeah, she really doesn't value him all that much. Oh damn, oh. You're out of juice. Oh, low charge. Oh damn.
It's not working.
The middle of an asteroid field? Or like a comet field? Where are they? Lamentis. Lamentis 1. There's other Lamentises, or... No? Is that a Death Star? No, that's a... It looks like a Death Star, I won't lie. 2077. It looks like a Death Star, I can't lie.
This is Lamentis 1!
I don't know what that means!
Is it some kind of a
That planet is about to crash into and destroy!
The moon.
Of all of the apocalypses saved on that temp, this is the worst!
Well, it's an apocalypse. It's an okay, that'll make sense. Crashing into a moon would definitely trigger some kind of apocalypse level event. Oh, is she gonna scan his brain too? Or?
You're trying to enchant me.
Oh,
It won't work.
Why? Because you're a magician?
No, because my mind is too strong.
Fine.
So it only works on weak minds. So it's like the Force. It's like the Force. It only works on weak minds. So also, this is the moon. So that is what it's crashing into is a planet. These are craters. Although the other thing looked like a moon too. So maybe one's like a moon-like planet.
I'm sorry about not calling some faded photocopy of me, Loki.
Good, because that's not who I am anymore. I'm Sylvie now.
Sylvie. Sylvie.
Changed your name.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
It's called an alias.
Independence, authority, style.
She has all of that.
Naturally, you went to
Yeah,
work
she
for the
has
boring,
literally all of
oppressive
that.
Time police.
I don't work for them. I'm a consultant. It's like everyone
Yeah,
always
this looks like something out of Borderlands or Fallout. Yeah.
How long do we have?
Yeah, very much like Borderlands vibes.
Things down here.
Whoa, okay, definitely life. There must be life. Oh, there is life. There is definitely life, okay.
Sorry about that.
Don't be. I enjoyed it.
Oh, damn.
I did too. But I can assure you,
Oh, he's gonna transform into the guy in the picture. Oh. That's deceit. That's trickery. That's not gonna get her to trust you.
You're as beautiful as I...
No, she would not fall for that. She would not fall for that.
Patrice never said a thing that nice in 30 years. You're no travelers. You're devils.
we're doing this one.
Yeah, even people in line like, wait, how are you guys just walking past? What are you guys doing? Oh.
Hello, look.
Like some
Oh,
shit.
a god.
It's a great plan.
Okay.
Okay, let's go then.
Okay.
Okay, that worked. Can't help but feel bad for the people in that line though, just watching them waltz on board with illusion and enchanting. Damn, this is a really high class. So the lady was right there, only the wealthy really get tickets.
Plans have multiple steps. Dressing as a guard and getting on a train is just doing a thing.
It's improvisation.
When someone taught you fairly decent magic.
My mother.
Mm-hmm. Did her mother teach her enchantments?
What was she like?
A queen of Asgard. She was good. Purely decent.
Are you sure she was your mother?
No, she's not actually. I was adopted. Is that a bit of a spoiler for you? Sorry about that.
No, I knew I was adopted.
Ah.
They told you?
Yeah. Did they not tell you?
Ah, they told her from the get-go. Okay. Oh, she's missing one horn. I didn't even notice that. She's actually missing one horn on her crown.
Turn a flower into a frog or cast fireworks.
So that's how you learned how to do it to Thor then? That's how you learned how
It
to
all
do it
seemed
to Thor.
impossible. But she told me that one day I'd be able to do it too, because I could do anything.
I taught
Whatever it is.
myself.
You taught yourself.
Oh, she's a
that magic.
self-taught
Yeah, I did.
enchantress. Huh.
Love is hate.
Oh, piss off.
So,
Managed to maintain quite a serious long-distance relationship with a postman whilst running across time from one apocalypse to another.
and with charm like that, who could resist you?
It was only ever just to keep me going. Must have been would-be princesses, or perhaps another prince.
A bit of both. I suspect the same
A
as
bit
you.
of both.
But nothing ever.
Real.
I mean, people have already started shipping Mobius and Loki, so who knows what the end of the series holds for us.
Love is something I might have to have another drink to think about.
Love is love.
You do realize we're about
Simple as that.
the power power source to a
Is Loki singing? Oh, Loki's singing with the train. Oh, damn. Okay.
Where's your uniform? We're meant to be laying low.
Nobody cares. It's the end of the world.
I think
Ah, yes, nothing matters, no consequences
That
whatsoever.
planet is about to crash into us. Love is a dagger.
A dagger.
It's a weapon to be wielded far away or up close. You can see yourself in it. It's beautiful, but ultimately when you reach for it.
It isn't real. Love is an imaginary dagger.
Tickets. Yes, of course. Here they are.
You're really drunk, aren't you? Oh yeah, Sylvie's got it. Sylvie's got it on the ropes. Ooh, oh, taking off her crown too. Oh. Okay, he's got blasts now. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, will you stop it?
Oh, damn, kicking him up the train. God damn. Oh no, Loki. Yeah, tempad, yeah, gotta get that tempad. Gotta get that sweet little tempad. Oh jeez. Oh no. And they've missed the train. Is it? Oh, it's
I
gone.
did take quite the time.
Oh, the
You
tempad's
arsehole.
gone.
You killed us!
Maybe we can fix it.
You're not a serious man.
You're right. I'm a god.
You're a clown. You got drunk on the train.
I'm hedonistic.
Oh. Talk about a breakdown.
What if you enchanted me and you could walk for both of us? I'd take a nap in my subconscious and then you could just wake me when we arrive.
Yeah, that's not how enchantment works. I have to make physical contact and then grab hold of their mind. Most are easy and I can overtake them instantly.
The weak ones.
Others, the stronger ones, it gets tricky. I'm in control, but they're there too. In order to preserve the connection, I have to create a fantasy from their memories.
So keep them occupied whilst you make them do whatever it is you want.
I had to pull a memory from hundreds of years prior, before she even fought for them.
Before she fought for
joined
them.
the TVA.
So
Yeah,
people do
she was just a
join.
regular person on Earth.
A regular person.
Yeah, so the
Love
TVA agents are
margaritas.
regular people, humans.
I was told that everyone who works at the TVA was created by the Timekeepers.
That's ridiculous. They're all variants, just like us.
They're
I know that.
even Mobius. Mobius is a variant. Oh, damn. These timekeepers are some absolute assholes. Whoa. That's the moon, right? That's the moon. It's just breaking open like an egg. Oh. I love his new blast now. I love his blast. See, he's got that. Oh, jeez, the buildings are falling down. Oh, God. Oh, yeah. Oh. Oh, no. Can they make it? They can't make it. Whoa. Okay, so the Ark is gone. So there's essentially no way off this planet now. Oh, God. Oh, God. The Ark is gone. That's the end of the air. That felt so short. That felt so short. Yeah, that genuinely felt so short. Oh, God, okay. Yeah, that's the end. That's the end. That felt so short. Like, it didn't really feel like a huge amount happened in terms of actually, like, progressing. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, that episode felt significantly shorter. In terms of actual kind of eventual progression, in terms of actually them going and doing things, it felt somewhat sort of like not a lot of things happened. Like, their main kind of, goal was to actually get somewhere with a power source powerful enough and large enough to actually recharge the tempad so they could actually get back to the TVA get back to safety and everything. So yeah, I mean, they went to a village, to like a town, and someone's house, and then to the train station. Then they were on the train for a bit, and then so like a few places here and there. But I think for the most part, the episode was definitely character driven and definitely kind of dialogue driven, and I enjoyed that much. I absolutely enjoyed and loved that much. And yeah, the like Loki and Sylvie are like a pairing that's like it's very very kind of interesting to watch as it goes on. Like to see that they're so different yet so similar to each other, and the fact that like they just have both like they both have such different histories and mentalities of who to be and who they are and everything. So that much is fun. So I think assuming that Sylvie is the same as Loki in the sense that she's actually Laufey's daughter. I think there's actually different ways to it. So I think because Loki is the son of Laufey, he's Loki, Laufey's son. So I think it's like the spelling for daughter is different. But I think like for her name I think would still be Sylvie Laufey. Laufey daughter, Laufey's daughter. I think Laufey daughter. Yeah, Sylvie Laufey daughter. So, and she was adopted too. She was actually adopted into Asgard, and she was still taken in as part of that family. But then the difference with her is that she knew she was adopted. I think she said that they still told her. But I think for her, maybe they actually told her a bit earlier, and as a result, she actually found out in like a much less kind of harmful and self-destructive kind of way. So she actually found out from the get-go, maybe when she was still young, but then like they still kind of told her when they thought she was old enough to understand and stuff. So yeah, but she has her own magic. She's also a self-taught kind of enchantress too. She is not just like the daughter of like a magical mother. She's not just the daughter of like a magical Frigga in her own time, but she actively taught herself her tricks and taught herself how to understand them and how they work and everything. So that's really cool. And I think she she even explored and like explained how her powers work to Loki. The fact that she actively has to when she actually enchants someone else's mind, like they're still there, they're still they're still kind of subconsciously kind of awake. So she has to give them like a fantasy of their own to actually keep them occupied while she does what she needs to do with their body and everything. So it's like it's essentially kind of like possession instead of them feeling trapped. It's like she gives them she just kind of gives them something else to focus on, something else to concentrate on. So like with the other TV agent in that restaurant. So it's like she kind of gave her like a pretend kind of friend dating kind of scenario. And then eventually that, like over and over again, that fantasy would break every time she mentioned the timekeeper and the TVA, because then that's when the agent kind of came to the realization, how do you? And I think, especially because that's what brought her back to the present day too, because she even said like that was like a memory of hers from years before she ever joined the TVA, and I'll get to that in a minute. But she even mentioned that was actually a memory of hers, like being maybe being on a date with someone else, or maybe with like an actual friend, but then replacing the image of the friend with her. Or like her girlfriend or something, and then actually kind of trying to coax out details of how to find the timekeepers. So her powers are very interesting. I think even the establishment of the fact that it works best on weaker minds. It works best on more susceptible minds, like minds that haven't really been built up, especially minds that haven't been built up to resist enchantments or resist like mind control of some kind. So yeah, so it's kind of like the Force then. The Force only like it works best on weak minds. You can still take on strong minds as long as you're strong enough to overcome them. But then it actually is easier to inflict upon weaker minds or like less trained minds. So yeah, and I think part of the reason I love their dynamic so much is especially just like how they actually like play off of each other in the most chaotic and in the most kind of like oppositional kind of ways. Like they both kind of not insult each other, but they trash talk each other. They constantly kind of push each other down, like trying to bring up who's the more superior Loki, who's the better Loki, who's the one who actually wins and takes on fights that they can actually handle and everything. And I think it's also like that kind of exploration of like how different they are, even in terms of their combat, and even in terms of their actual the way they do things. Like Sylvie is actually like even trying to explain like the plan that disrupted was like a plan that she had actually, formulated like for years and years, and it was actually going right to perfection up until he came along and screwed everything up. So, but then with Loki, his deceits and his trickery is almost always improvisational. Like I think even if he's actually helping someone, deceit will be in the back of his mind. He will always be kind of thinking about like maybe a couple of steps ahead. But then it's almost always improvisational, and especially as like some kind of escape plan, so that he can actually get away and secure his own safety. So it's almost always improvisational, and like as we've seen, he thinks really well on his feet. Like he really thinks quickly on the spot. He can actually come up with ways to escape or fight back or something. So like with him, he's a lot more improvisational. But with Sylvie, this is the only thing we've really seen from Sylvie so far, and easily like her biggest plan so far has been to take down the Timekeepers. So yes, I think even with that, like her mission, her mission is like not necessarily overthrown, because like she doesn't want anything to do with the Timekeepers. She doesn't want anything to do with the TVA, anything to do with that power. But she just kind of believes, because of what the Timekeepers are doing, and because of how they operate on the peoples across all of reality, like she believes that that they need to be taken down, and like that will leave behind the power vacuum. But it's not a power vacuum that she wants to occupy anyway, so she'll just leave and go her own way. But then she even actually, I think she even called them like omniscient fascists. So like I think it's like, I think that was somewhat more in kind of in relevance to the TVA, because the TVA are essentially time cops. The TVA are essentially time cops, and like they are the ones who actually kind of like enact and control reality and time and space according to the dictations of the Timekeepers. So they are essentially the ones who kind of who listen to what the Timekeepers are saying or telling them to do, and then they do it. So, and yes, I think even the more interesting thing that she actually pointed out was that the TVA agents are not created by the Timekeepers. They are all variants. The TVA agents are all variants. I do wonder to what extent that was. Like if it's like every last TVA agent, like no matter their security clearance or no matter what their level is, like if they all are actually variants, because then that would then make sense. Like maybe that's how they do. So like they're all variants, and then. So I think maybe it's like like the first time. So I think after forming Sacred Timeline, maybe the first variants that the Timekeepers themselves found, those were the ones who they actually appointed as the new kind of TVA kind of agents and everything. And then they kept on recruiting up that, and they actually kept on building up and everything. So I think at this point now they have enough variants to actually kind of keep the TVA up and running. So now any variants that they actually have, they just kind of imprison, or like they capture them and do whatever else needs to be done. So yeah. So it's like with those TVA agents, then I think because they don't know that they're variants, then maybe because then I think you kind of have to assume that they themselves don't know they're variants. So then by that logic, then they're maybe either their memories are replaced, and or they're given new ones, or they're given like new lives, and like the only knowledge that they have is that they are TVA agents, and that their destiny is to work within the TVA and to actually control all the variants and to control the timeline in accordance to the Timekeeper's dictations. So does that what does that mean for characters like Renslayer and the other kind of the B-15 kind of TVA fighter, and like Mobius and Casey? Like what were their lives like before all this? I think because like it was like literally last episode we got Mobius actually talking about how he really wants to go to Earth and ride a jet ski, but then he can't because of potential variants kind of disruption and everything. So then like him wanting to ride a jet ski, is that like an actual clue that that's what he did before he became a TVA agent, or is that like just like something like could that be something he remembers from past life, or is that something he actually or actually just wants to do now that he's actually discovered part of what? Because then where do TVA agents themselves think they come from? If they don't know that they come from Earth, then do they think that they're human, or do they think that they're something else, or what is it like? Because then if they are then created, and that would mean that like they have no other form of like birth or like any kind of existential purpose besides from serving the Timekeepers and serving the TVA. So that's just like depressing kind of lifestyle. Even for Casey, like I think like Casey then saying like he's only ever spent his entire life behind a desk, but then what is his life like? Like did he have a childhood? Did he ever have like an adolescence? Like did he just kind of suddenly pop into existence as a fully grown man with a shirt and tie and everything? And like he doesn't even know what fish is. So like like how much of his memories have been erased? How much of his past life has been kind of erased from him? Like maybe he used to be a fisherman or something. I don't know. But these are questions I feel like almost need answering. But I think for the most part, it does make it more of like an interesting theory as to what's going to happen if and when the TV agents actually find out exactly who they are and what they used to be and where they come from and everything. And the fact that they themselves find out that, oh, you are variants, but you are variants that were deemed acceptable by the timekeepers in order to actually keep the TVA up and running and to actually make sure that the sacred timeline stays protected and safe. But then they've been lied to. They've been lied to their entire lives, and they've been protecting something. They've been like actively sent to monitor and capture and arrest people just like them, just with like a different, just with like seemingly lesser purpose according to the timekeepers. So yeah, it's a lot to think about. And I think in terms of their histories and in terms of who they are as people, I think it just showed like just how kind of I think because I think it was in episode 1 that like even Mobius kind of called Loki like claimed that Loki was actually looking at the smaller picture when he wanted to rule a kingdom or when he wanted to be a leader of that kind. Like, oh, you're thinking of the smaller picture, but then there's like a whole grand scheme of things that you haven't really registered or whatever. So then I think especially with like with their interactions with the TVA, I think it goes to show just how kind of different they are. When like with Loki again, like with Loki, he believes in his own. I think he somewhat believes in his own freedom to be the ruler that he believes he was deserved to be, like his rightful heir to his own throne, and to be like the leader that he believes he should be, and that to actually be like, oh, freedom is life's great lie and all that jazz. But then and it's not until he steals the Tesseract just out of pure coincidence that he actually gets the chance to try and be that ruler, and then the TVA comes along and he can't escape them. But then with Sylvie, I feel like with Sylvie, maybe she had a similar thing, but she's been on the run ever since. She explicitly said her plan has been in the works for years, for virtual years. I think in from whenever she became a variant, she then refused to bow down to the TVA and the timekeepers, and refused to bow down to what they believed, to how they believed time should go and how they believed her life should be. So she's literally been fighting for her own freedom and to actually take out. Because I think she doesn't even want to destroy any worlds. She doesn't want to. She doesn't seem to want to destroy any worlds or any people or be any kind of leader. But she literally just wants to take out people. She literally wants to take out celestial beings who believe that they know how her life should run according to them and according to whatever the sacred timeline needs. So I think she's been. So, her goal is to take out those people who believe that they know what freedom means for her sake, and who believe that they know what her freedom entails exactly. So, it's two very, very different perspectives actually clashing together and coming together, and both of them, and especially that making Sylvie that much more of a strategic kind of fighter, whereas with Loki, he's any time an opportunity arises, he'll grab it. He's very, very much improvisational. He's a quick thinker. In that sense, I think seeing those two personalities clashing was really, really enjoyable. So, and I think the more interesting, I think for me, one of the more interesting parts of the episode was them actually discussing their past, and especially any kind of romances they might have in their life. So I think especially talking about their past, Loki, I think again Loki just having the softest of spots in his heart for his mother Frigga. Calling her rightfully calling her she was the queen of Asgard. She was a decent person, a good ruler. She had a pure heart, and actually acknowledging that any bit of goodness that he has in his heart, any bit of actual decency, and any bit of actual allyship that he has for good people in his heart, is because Frigga. Frigga is the only one who's ever really understood him, and she taught him magic. Thor learned pretty much everything about being a fighter and a king and a potential king from Odin. Odin. So Thor being the older one, Thor being the older brother, he, at least older than Loki. Hela is a completely different story that kind of, that Odin kind of locked away and covered up and everything. But Thor, I think Thor learned everything he did from Odin, but then Loki learned everything that he did from Frigga. And I think Frigga didn't even really Frigga didn't even do it out of pity, out of pity. She didn't really do it because because he's not getting enough attention from Odin, so I'll do it. But she actually saw him as a child, and she saw him as like, you know, like someone with every bit of potential as Thor, even if it was in other areas, and like her explicitly telling him, you can do anything you want to do, you can be anything you want to be, and teaching him magic to like for him, he's not the same kind of bulky brutish warrior Thor is, but you know, like Loki himself, he has that, like he has his own abilities, he has his own skill sets that are more mental and more kind of tactical and everything, and like somewhat more manipulative. But then, you know, like Frigga, maybe even seeing that she kind of identified that as like his own set of strengths, his own set of advantages in battle and in any kind of skirmish. So then she taught him magic, she taught him how to do things, and you know, taught him all these things. So I think even to like throughout the series, like him constantly kind of mentioning her, or him kind of actually bringing her up as the reason that he is not only so skilled, but the fact that the reason that he still has somewhat of a good side is actually really refreshing and really kind of it's a good reminder of the impact that Frigga has had on his life and how much he regrets. Like I think again, and like I think it's what changes with this variant. Like this variant, like this Loki variant has not even returned to Earth. So I think like that timeline as a whole, because of like one person's absence can change as a whole. So he's gone. So then the Avengers are just kind of stuck, like wondering where Loki is. I mean, I won't lie, I'm kind of curious as to how long they're actually going to try and search for him before finding out that he's just not in their universe anymore, or he's just not in their timeline. Because I think that is long before they ever consider the possibility of time travel. So then he's gone. So then he's gone. The Tesseract is gone, and the Scepter. I mean, the Scepter's like. So I think that universe is only missing a space. I mean, well, yeah, that timeline is only missing a space stone. So they've lost the space stone, so then that's one less stone for Thanos to have to worry about, and then and then I think especially for Frigga's end too, in that timeline Frigga doesn't die, because then Loki doesn't tell that hulkish kind of dark elf dude that, you know, Tess left, and then he finds a way about it. So I'm thinking, I'm wondering, because like Loki has seen how he himself causes his kind of mother's death in the Dark World. So I'm wondering if maybe we're gonna get like some kind of, I mean, for the sake of character progression, I don't think it might happen. In order to avoid dwelling on the past too much, I don't think it could happen. But at the same time, like I'm wondering if he actually is going to be like, you know, well, you know, in the original timeline, I actually end up inadvertently sending a killer after my mother. So I think with me being here and not being there, I guess I can actually kind of, you know, avoid that and actually keep her alive and give her, you know, like the even lengthier life that she truly deserves. So him talking about like Frigga in that sense is cool. And then I think his power set too is kind of upgrade. Like I feel like it's kind of upgrade. Like he has a blast. Like he never had. I think, to my knowledge, he never really had blast before. Like he has actual like green energy blast. Like similar-ish to Scarlet Witch now. So he's like more of a combatant in that sense, and he even has his own like his usual illusions and his usual trickery, which help him too. And he's always been a guy. I feel like he's always been a great combatant. He's always been a great combatant. Like I think where he learned that from, I'm not too sure. Like I don't know if Odin would have let him join any kind of fighting groups or classes on Asgard, or if he just learned how to fight with Thor. Because I think especially that's the thing too. Like with Thor, I think he like Thor himself is great with hand-to-hand combat, but again, his is more like brute. Like his is more like, you know, maybe comparable to like boxing, or just like punching and kicks and different kind of using his strength to his absolute advantage. But with Loki, he has strength, but it's also like you can definitely tell he's more of a martial artist with his kind of disarming techniques and his movements and his knife tricks and everything. So, you know, he has his own daggers and everything, which he's just dual wielding the hell out of. So he has his own tricks, even combat wise. But I think his true mastery, I feel like, lies in his kind of practice of magic and you know, illusions and everything. So that was cool. And even Enchantress, I think the romance stats. I think with the tone of her voice and the delivery of that line, I couldn't tell if Sylvie was actually being sarcastic or not. Especially like Loki asking her, like, you know, is there any kind of like any kind of thing he said, like beau, any kind of like romance or lover waiting on the other side of this for you? Like, have you actually got someone to go to at the end of all this, or are you just doing this for yourself, or what is it? And then she actually mentioned like, oh, like a long distance relationship with like a postman in like another timeline or something. But then, like, I think again with the like, especially with the context of it, like of the whole story and like her saying that and the delivery and everything, like I was like, wait, is she actually being sarcastic? Like, of course I don't have anyone. Like, you know, like how do you think a relationship would work in this kind of line of work, or like with my ability to jump from timeline to timeline? Like how would any kind of romance work? But I feel like they just kind of brushed over that quickly enough for it to be solid enough, but still being like, oh well, you just wait and see what happens. And then the even more interesting thing happened with Loki when I think it's like like her asking Loki if he had any kind of any fellow like any princesses that he was into, or maybe a prince, or maybe even a prince, and he even said a bit of both. So Loki is like within. I think it's been that way for a long time in the comics. Like for any comic readers, it wouldn't really be a surprise, or any kind of like knowledgeable comic readers wouldn't really be a surprise. But in the MCU, Loki is officially and canonically bisexual. So he is officially like I think I think the TVA already has on record that he is fluid with his gender and his sex. So that much, like his appearance and his shifting and his existence itself is pretty much kind of fluid with whatever he needs to be in a given situation, or even whatever he wants to be for his own kind of heart's desire. But then also in terms of his actual partners, he's good with all. He's good basically anyone. He's good with anyone. So he is officially bisexual. So I think he even actually bounced that back onto Sylvie as well. And then she didn't really respond verbally, but then her face kind of said it all too. I think like her face kind of did kind of like not so subtly confirm like, yeah, I see where you're coming from. I get where you're coming from. I'm kind of along that kind of road too. So Loki and Sylvie are essentially like the bisexual as guardians of the MCU. So I think again, hey, it's Pride Month. And Marvel are officially kind of canonizing Loki to be as true to himself as his comic book counterpart is. So that is actually that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. So so that was really cool. So I think I can't wait to see what kind of fan responses are to that, and actually especially how they move forward with that too. And I think, and especially like I said, I think Loki has been shipped with quite a few people in the past. Actually, I think it was after the Avengers. I think the earliest one I remember after the Avengers, it was people shipping Loki and Tony. After the first Avengers movie, and then it was the one I can remember most vividly after that is fast forward to Thor Ragnarok, when Loki and the Grand Master kind of had a thing going. People were like, oh yeah, they're definitely together. They definitely had like a little something, because I think Loki was on Sakaar for far longer than Thor was, and he had actually established like a connection and a friendship of sorts with the Grand Master by that time too. He'd already kind of become like a known kind of person, like a known identity. So people were like, oh yeah, he must have had like a thing going with the Grand Master. He must have, and then. So yeah, and then even now, as soon as Loki starts airing, like him and Mobius become the new fan favorite ship. So Loki gets shipped with almost everyone. And I think it is really going to go to show. I think it goes to show more than anything how great his chemistry with other characters is. How great, and especially like you can definitely see how great his chemistry with Mobius is in this scene. Like him and Mobius, like just kind of that some like I think it's not necessarily like reluctance, but there's still like a definitely kind of like a newfound kind of friendship dynamic between them that could then evolves into something more cooperative and something a bit more fluid and a bit more kind of believable and like lovable and everything. So just goes to show how well Loki gets on with the people that he's actually interested in, how well he gets on with those around him. And I think especially like because of the fact that like him annoying people is kind of like his own form of actually falling in love with them, or actually getting to know them, and actually being into them that way. Like he actively just kind of teases and he picks on people, and he just kind of like he is that kind of like annoying little shit pretty much. So I think so far the fandom kind of unarguably ships Mobius and Loki like strongly enough to actually care more about them than about Sylvie. And I think hopefully Sylvie actually does kind of find some. I mean, assuming that the postman thing isn't just like some kind of clever, sarcastic response, hopefully she actually does find someone at the end. Because I genuinely thought she and the TVA agent were actually on like some kind of date way back when. Like maybe she actually, because then like if she was able to find out who on the TVA actually like if she was able to find out that if she was able to find out that TVA agents are actually variants, then maybe she could actually find a TVA agent and then track them in the past, actually go into the past on Earth to be with them. And then maybe that would be a thing too, like maybe it's her way of actually trying to get into the TVA with a mole, maybe, but then she inadvertently ends up actually getting close to a TVA agent, and it just happens to be the one who gave her the information and everything. But then, I genuinely thought, maybe she actually traveled back into the past to actually get with the TVA agent, actually to get inside their head, and maybe to actually, partner up with them. But then, oh no, she's accidentally catching feelings. She's actually catching feelings for another TVA agent, and it just so happens to be a woman too. So I don't know, but either way, Loki and Sylvie, canon bisexuals of the MCU, so that is awesome. That is awesome. So yeah, and I think especially what I love is that it's not a big deal. I think the best kind of coming outs, the best kind of reveals for these kinds of characters, for these kinds of identities, are undeniably kind of like the ones that are treated as a normal thing. It's not like a big deal. Certain characters can have big, I think it's also kind of dependent on the context too. If the coming out is an actual integral part of the storyline, then obviously a big thing is somewhat more appropriate and it's more explainable and it's more understandable. But then in Loki's case, it's literally just one aspect of who he is. He's a person that transcends human limitations of mortality, humanly limited understandings of mortality and existence and gender and sexuality and whatever. So he is who he is. Loki is who he is, and he is interested in who he's interested in. It really doesn't matter to him. So long as you actually vibe with him and you're okay with him being such a malicious trickster, then it's all good. It's all good. But yeah, I think just him. I think just him so casually referencing that, and him so casually acknowledging that. Yeah, you know what? I'm into a bit of both. I'm into pretty much anyone who takes my fancy. I'm interested in them, and if that's reciprocated, then hey, all the better. And then for Sylvie, it's pretty much the same thing. So I think just how casually it's acknowledged and how casually it's actually presented is a really refreshing thing to see, and just goes to how little Loki cares, and he wouldn't really care for anyone who opposes, because again, they're beneath him. They're all pitiful mortals that just were waiting to be ruled over by him and everything. So he could not care less about bigots or haters in any kind of shape or form or any aspect. So yeah, but I do love them actually confirming that with Loki and Sylvie, and actually bringing them to the screen, to such a global screen too, in that regard. So yeah, that is super cool. That is super duper cool. And I mean, they're both incredibly good looking. I mean, it's they could literally have anyone that they wanted. So just it makes sense. It makes sense. The ending, so yeah, they made it to the final station / kind of city where the Ark was actually kind of getting ready. I think the visuals in this episode were so cool too, the visuals of the moon, I think she said it was a moon crashing into a planet. But they both looked like moons. Even the thing in the sky looked like a moon, and then even the outward more kind of the more kind of wider kind of ground shots of the planet they were on looked like a moon. So I don't know if one was a planet that was if one was a moon that was being used and inhabited as a planet, and then the other one was an actual moon, or what was happening. Because I think that is actually how even in planetary inhabitations in Marvel actually work. Some moons are actually used as planets and inhabited as planets. I think Titan is the moon of Jupiter. I think Titan is one of the moons of Jupiter. Because I think Jupiter is the one with actually quite with quite a few moons in its orbit. I think Titan is actually one of them, and Titan was actually used as an actual planet. So but then I wonder how that works, because I think planets generally kind of have cores. They are actually built to be planets. They're built to sustain life in some way. But then moons are just moons. They don't specifically have any atmosphere to them or any kind of planetary capabilities. And so I'm wondering how a moon could be used in the same way as an actual planet, and how it could actually be inhabited. And I was thinking maybe that's just what it is. Maybe if you try and use a moon as an actual planet, because I think Titan fell to I think Titan, like, I think Thanos even referenced that, the Titan actually didn't really have the resource. It didn't have the, like, he said, I think, too many mouths, but not enough food to go around. So maybe they actually couldn't grow enough food. Maybe they actually couldn't produce enough food, especially because it's a fucking moon. Maybe they actually couldn't utilize its kind of resources or its capabilities to the same extent as an actual fully formed planet. So I think maybe people living on moons is the fucking issue here. Maybe like actually try and find a planet to live on that has the ability to actually sustain life and actually grow resources and produce resources to the kind of civilization's extent. So maybe if you try and live on a moon, bad shit's gonna happen. You're not gonna last very long. So maybe actually, leave moons to themselves. Leave moons alone. I think maybe building outposts could be okay. Like maybe because I think some people, I think in some stories you do have civilizations actually using moons as outposts or like as just kind of as waypoints on the way to a destination for when they travel through space. So using it in that sense, in a way that's less intensive, sure, that could be okay. And maybe actually keeping resources stored there instead of actually trying to grow resources on the moon could be more acceptable. But then actually trying to overuse to actually push it beyond its limits and actually trying to use it as a planet, that's when the problems come in. That's when one moon starts crashing into another. So that's when the issue comes in. So yeah, people are just kind of, trying to, push poor moons past what they can do, and then they pay the price for it, and then it's like, oh no, it's the end of the world. Like, yeah, well, I'm not really surprised, given that, you literally tried to set up camp on a fucking moon. But either way, that was what Lamentis 1 actually was. It was actually like a moon crashing into a planet. So I think maybe essentially two moons crashing into each other, but then one of them was actually being used as a planet. But then even the visuals of the moon, especially at the very end, where when they were in that final city nearing the Ark, like that visual of the moon, because I think I couldn't tell where the vessel was. I think because then I was wondering like, oh, maybe maybe that. What's above them there is the vessel, but then it actually looked more and more like the moon that we saw in earlier scenes, and I was like, oh wait, no, that's the moon. And then it was actually cracking open like an egg, like it almost looked like an actual entrance opening, but no, it was actually the moon just kind of cracking open as an egg, because then it was actually under some kind of dire planetary distress. So then that opened, and then by the time they got to like the final doorway, the Ark was actually smaller and in the distance, and it was actually still on the planet. But then the Ark actually completely fell apart and it exploded, and it just kind of fell apart. So then literally, and then everyone stopped fighting. As soon as the Ark fell apart. So it's like that's when everything went to shit, and that's when like Sylvie just walks away, and Loki, I think Loki was just standing there, just dumbstruck and dumbfounded, just unable to actually do or say anything. So, and then even the guards stopped fighting him, because then no point stopping people from getting onto an Ark that's like not going to take off after all. So literally, it just stopped everyone in the tracks. Everyone in the tracks stopped and just paused, and then the credits rolled. So yeah, that ending was like a surprise kind of cliffhanger for this kind of episode. So yeah, that happened. So yeah, I think looking at one of the screenshots from the episode now, I think Sylvie is even actually missing one of the horns. I don't know if they actually showed that in the last episode, because literally all I registered in the last episode was that she actually had a horn crown at all. I didn't really check to see if both horns were there or if one was missing. But I think looking at this thing, and I think this wasn't even actually until like halfway through the episode, more like when they were on the train. She's actually missing like most of the bottom kind of portion is still there, so like the base is still somewhat there, but then the rest of the one, I don't know if it's actually been snapped off or if she even broke it off, but only one horn is there. So I'm wondering if there's actually some kind of, I mean, it looks great, like she's still rocking like a horn crown at all, and her hair tied back and all flowy and everything. Like honestly, Sylvie looks great. Sylvie looks. She looks great, but still, I'm like in the middle of my simping for Sylvie, I am genuinely wondering if there is any actual visual or symbolic kind of significance to the horn being snapped off. Maybe that's because maybe that's how she maybe that's because she's so intent on not being identified as Loki. She's so intent on not being called Loki or identified as Loki in any way. So maybe this is maybe she knows, maybe after further investigation, she also knows that the identity of Loki, or even the identity of Tom Hiddleston's Loki variant, is known for having two horns. So maybe it's like, oh, I still want to keep the horn crown, but I don't want to be I don't want to be misidentified as Loki. So maybe she actually just breaks off one horn, and it's like, yeah, the other horn will do fine, and then just like a bit of horn, like a teeny tiny bit of horn on this side. So. See, I think regardless, it's actually still like a surprisingly good look at it. I think like not many kind of people or character. Like, I think it's not something that you think would be passed off as an actual good look, or because I think generally people might think, oh, she like she has like a broken headpiece, or like she has like a broken part of her costume. But no, like with this one, it's actually just a way that she chooses to present it. And it's actually like, like she still likes the horns. There's just like one less horn, and then that's like less of a chance that she'll be misidentified as Loki Laufeyson, and instead she will be hopefully correctly identified as Sylvie Laufey daughter. So yeah, I trust I'm pronouncing that right because it's not like daughter with the DAUGH spelling, but it's like I think it's DOTTIR. So it's actually like an actual like a not necessarily like a misspelling, but I don't know what language the Norse mythology kind of would take up. I think because even Loki was I think Loki was singing Loki was actually singing like on the train section too. He was actually he actually singing, and he sang in English, he sang in Singlish, but then he also switched languages too. So I think we know he is pretty multilingual. He spoke fluent Latin in the last episode. So with this one, I don't know if I think maybe. I don't know where, like in what country Norse mythology would actually originate. Like maybe, like I don't know where. Well, I don't know. Let me actually look that up. Like, where would Norse mythology originate? Origin country. So North mythology is the body mythology in Scandinavia. So Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. You know what? I was gonna say Norway because again, Norse and like Norway having Norse mythology would make it. I was gonna guess Norway and maybe even Denmark. Maybe even because I think Denmark. I think Denmark would be Danish, right? Or like would that be? I think the Denmark would probably be Danish, but I think Dutch would that come under Denmark? Would Dutch come under Denmark as well? I don't know. I think Denmark would be primarily Danish, maybe, but then maybe with like a touch of Dutch. Or I don't know if maybe Dutch is more German. Maybe if Dutch is actually more German, maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure, but not Norse is Scandinavian. So I think like Vikings, I like the the Vikings. I think like they would believe in like Norse mythology and stuff. And I think like Norse fish like Odin as well. I think especially the video game Assassin's Creed, like the newer Viking one. I think the Valhalla, like that one. Like the trailer actually had one of the characters saying Odin is with us. So Odin is actually like Norse mythology, Norse culture is actually practiced and believed, and actually taken in by the Vikings and the people from Scandinavia, or like Scandinavia, Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. So maybe like countries within like that kind of culture or that kind of region. So yeah, I think again, like any of those kind of like location inaccuracies, like my geography is not the best, so pardon me for that. But yeah, so Norse mythology. So I think he could have been. He could have been speaking Swedish. He could have been singing in like Swedish or Danish maybe, or Norwegian perhaps, like that's Norse mythology. So I think I didn't actually fully understand, I didn't fully catch the words he was saying, but he was actually in that one too, like when he was singing in English, he was actually hyping up the crowd and everyone was singing along with him, and there was actually clapping and dancing and everything. But then when he switched languages, only he was singing, and then he was looking straight at Sylvie too. He was actually singing directly to Sylvie, and Sylvie was seemingly entranced by his voice and the words, and even the facial his facial expression changed, or he was like making direct eye contact with Sylvie too. So I think again, I'm wondering if there's going to be some kind of connection with the we're not going to be, that we're not fully seeing coming at the end of the series. Like maybe if there is a deep, even if it's not a romance, maybe like a deeper connection between Loki and Sylvie by the end of the series. Like maybe they kind of identify that they are kind of similar to each other in more ways than one. Maybe even being like variants, but not direct kind of doppelgangers. Maybe, but then maybe if they are like not just kind of like gender fluid counterparts, but also kind of maybe identity counterparts, maybe like similar mindsets, similar goals, similar kind of tactics, and similar personalities, that kind of thing. So I think that right now in terms of origins, that is my biggest kind of question right now. Is Sylvie literally just is Sylvie literally just like an AFAB Loki, or is she actually like another child of Laufey's in another timeline that just so happens to be AFAB too, or what is the actual point of origin there? Because then I think that would make it actually like easier to differentiate just how different they actually might be, or how similar they might be to each other. Maybe like she's just his like female counterpart, like chronologically speaking, or maybe she actually is a completely different person who then happened to go down similar routes and similar paths of magic and kind of like power training that he did. So yeah, but yeah, either way, I think like that singing as a whole, that singing too, and even him like that dagger metaphor he used, he needed more drinks before he could actually accurately kind of convey what he thought love was to her. But then he actually used the dagger too. I think I'm gonna have to go back and watch that scene, but he even actually kind of mentioned like love is a dagger that you can that's I don't know exactly how it went, but then at the very end he did say, when you reach for it, it's gone. So she actually reached for it, and then he actually meant to spit something like love is what you think is there and what you want to be there so badly, but then when you finally reach for it, it's taken away from your grasp. So I'm wondering. I'm wondering, given given how they have pretty much cannoned him as bi, I'm wondering if that is actually like a reference to a past love that we haven't actually heard of yet, or that we haven't explored yet. Maybe he actually, maybe even on Asgard, maybe he actually did have like a love in his past that we haven't actually seen yet, that he actually reached for, but then it was taken away from him, or maybe he actually did love someone and then it didn't really work out, or maybe he's actually, or maybe it's it's like the way he sees himself. Like maybe he actually does fall in love with certain people, but then he never really chases it until it's too late. But then the reason it's too late is because then he's reminded of what he is, what he's done, and then maybe he thinks, oh, that's gonna scare them off. They're never gonna be interested. They're never actually gonna accept you for who you are because of what you've done. So maybe that's the dagger. Maybe that is actually the dagger. Then the dagger he uses to kill and to maim and to injure is the same one that will take away his love and stuff. So I don't know, but it's very, very interesting. It's very interesting. So yeah, that is pretty much it. And again, I think most of what I've written down is just talking about Loki and Sylvie, talking about them two, and actually kind of talking about their dynamic and like the way they've interacted so far, and also like the little snippets of history between them that we've actually gotten. So I think most of this episode definitely felt like character, and I think that is a good thing too. Like Marvel has shown that these Disney Plus series are definitively meant to explore character more than just action or drama or anything else. I think we've had a fair bit of action. We've had a very, very fair bit of action. I think even their kind of cooperative kind of combat skills, even on the train and in that final city, were really, really fun to see. The fact that they actually do kind of actually fight alongside each other and actually fight together to actually get the thing. So even if their goals are currently kind of separable, just seeing them fight together overall is still like a refreshing thing to see, and it's still like a really fun thing to actually take in. So I wonder how that's gonna improve or change as time goes by and as they spend more time together and as they actually kind of form some kind of allegiance together. And especially now that Sylvie has actually told him, because now Loki knows that all the TVA agents are variants, and especially Mobius. Mobius is a variant who then deserves to live out his dreams of getting a fucking jet ski and actually riding a jet ski to across whatever snowy plain here, which is now Loki knows the truth about the TVA agents, and now he needs to unveil that truth to them and maybe convince them. So then I think maybe that could be the key to Loki and Sylvie teaming up against the Timekeepers themselves. I think it's less that the Timekeepers themselves are the ones who decree any new Timekeepers in, but it's that they are corrupt powers who need to be taken out, but then that's going to be the real. So then, like Loki said, taking out the Timekeepers would leave behind the power vacuum. So then that's what then actually leads to Loki and Wanda and Strange actually become the new Timekeepers, and then Sylvie maybe goes along her own way and actually does her own thing. But either way, I think that's definitely what this could actually lead into. So I'm very eager to see how that kind of character progression could actually lead into further interactions and further kind of trust and cooperation between Loki and Sylvie. So that will be fun to see. But yeah, that is it. That is now definitely it. So a great episode. I can't wait to see more of. Sophie DiMartino is killing it. She is absolutely slaying it as Sylvie and as Enchantress. I can't wait to see exactly how much more she progresses and how much more of her we get to see, and how she goes on with this role. So hopefully, I think story-wise, I think it would definitely it would only make sense to keep her alive and also to maybe tease her return in Multiverse of Madness too. Maybe she she could also be like another helping hand in handling the Multiverse of Madness and seeing whatever actually goes down in that regard. So I do look forward to how much more she progresses and how much more of her we see. But yeah, that is it. That is pretty much all I've got from this one. So that was Loki, Season 1, Episode 3. So as always, thank you guys so much for being here and for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then salt and burn that like button. Comment on what you thought of the episode and what you think is coming up next time on Marvel's Loki. Once again, the full-length reaction will be available on Patreon, so you can go check that over there. And yeah, that is it. So, I will see you guys next time.